Welcome to Workshop Goals. I'm Brad, and if you've been following the channel, you know we're building our dream shop, and we have had a ton of issues, one of which is our concrete floors. And when we tried to fix the leveling on them, that repair went south in a major way. So after talking with the builder, we decided the only way to fix it was to bring in a crew to do a new epoxy floor. And so that's what we're gonna show you today. So let's just jump into it. So all this stuff can get moved out pretty easily, and we can put it in the driveway or on the porch or even in the carport. But the bigger issue is back here in the corner. That's the CNC. So as much as I told you how easy this thing is to move, this is still a huge, 5x10 CNC with all the different equipment, and it's 3,200 pounds, and I don't want to put this thing outside, and if it gets down the driveway and starts rolling, we could be in big trouble. So we worked with the epoxy guy, and we tried to figure out what was going to happen, and he came up with a good plan, and I think it's going to work out perfectly. So the plan we came up with to deal with the CNC is we're actually going to use this area up here as kind of the buffer zone. So we're going to actually leave kind of from this expansion joint right here. There's an expansion joint every 10 feet, so there's 7 of them going down. We're going to epoxy this first 20 feet and everything over there. And so that's gonna allow us kind of this back 50 feet in the right side bay just to move as much as we can over into this space and leave the CNC where it's at. And then they will basically like dam it up or do something so that they'll stop right here, and that expansion joint is gonna allow us to transition and you won't be able to tell afterwards. Then after this sets up, we can roll the CNC all the way up here, and this 20 feet in the front is gonna be just enough room to store the CNC while they do this back section, and then let that cure, move the CNC back in, and then we don't have to worry about putting the CNC outside or renting another tow lift or anything. So I think the plan is gonna work out nicely. Now all we have to do is basically get everything and get it packed in here so that they can start, which is gonna be next Wednesday. It's Friday right now. So we just have a couple days to get ready, and this is gonna be awesome. Now we have a lot of our things already on pallets, which is great because we have this little pallet mover, and this little guy was a godsend because that pallet right there had like 8 boxes of screws. That thing must have weighed like 150 pounds. So we just basically got to it and moved everything over into that little bay, and it was a tight fit, but we got it there. Probably one of the bigger struggles though were the plywood, because those were probably 3,500 pounds worth of plywood. Now we did have to downstack one of the pallets of plywood because basically we couldn't get under it with the little spacers that were underneath there. So we just restacked it on top of a pallet, and then we were able to put it back in that little bay, and everything was squared away and taken care of. I think that'll do. A few other little things to clean up, and we should be ready for epoxy. All right, the epoxy guys just showed up and they are unloading, and basically how it's gonna go is it's like a multi-step prep process. The first part of that is them grinding down and just getting everything level, and that's also gonna take care of all those issues that we had in that big strip. So they're gonna basically grind that all down, and then I'm not sure exactly what that next step is. It's like either blasting or then priming or something in between there. We'll see how it goes, but I'm really interested to see how this process goes out, because by the end of the day, they want to have down flake, which is going to be awesome. So we'll just follow along and see how it goes. Now, the process here started out with basically them getting all of the exterior walls grinded in, because you couldn't put the big grinder right up against the wall. So they're going around and just using this hand grinder and also cutting those strips right there in the front to kind of define the front of the epoxy. Now this guy here, this is the shot blaster, the blast track, if you will. And this thing was super cool. This is basically what they used to rough up all of the concrete. And it shoots these little metal beads here. And basically there's a flywheel on this guy that shoots the beads down at high speed, and then the air will circulate it back up and through the hopper, while another piece of it pulls out all the dust. So pretty cool machine, and of course this is automated, so they have some controls up there. They can adjust the speed and the flow and all those things. But it's pretty cool to see this industrial product here that is specifically for just beating the crap out of the top of a concrete floor and getting it ready for epoxy. Now, this was not a fast process by any means. I think that thing was only about 12 inches or so wide. And so they spent a lot of time going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, just shot blasting the entire concrete. And I'm sure they probably have bigger machines for bigger jobs, but this is the one that they had. I imagine they wish they had brought a bigger one. After that metal shot goes on the ground, you can see what it does. It kind of just like pulls it up and just really roughs it up. So that's gonna be a good surface for the primer to go down and then the epoxy on top of it. But it's just like real rough now. So it's taking all that gloss off of the concrete. Now, so this is the area obviously where we had kind of the patch that went south. And they started bringing that little shot blaster over here, and that just absolutely annihilated that. So they're not gonna do the shot blaster through here. We're gonna grind that separately. And then they've also got a little bit of patch they're gonna be able to do, and so they can patch up anything where there's just a little bit more lip. So instead of using the shot blaster for this part that had the repairs, they brought in the grinder. And basically it's just a lot gentler on the patch area, and so it wouldn't just rip it all up. So they went through and did that in the center as well as on the sides, because that patch area went all the way across the entire shop. So you'll see him kind of working through and doing the grinder and basically just getting that surface prep totally done. Now, of course, with all that shot blast and all the grit, there was a ton of dust. So there was a lot of vacuuming to be done. Now, I did misspeak earlier. There is not actually a primer. Once they get all of that dust cleared off, they go in with the two-part epoxy, which is a base layer. So there's an A part and a B part, and then they're adding in some gray pigment so that when that's down, and if there's any open areas that their flakes don't show, then it'll be gray, and so you won't see that concrete. So basically, the guys were just mixing it all up and laying down this coat. And it was pretty cool to see them working all together. And basically they would go through and put in a light coat and just get it down. And then they would come back and back roll it with these rollers to make sure that everything was a nice, thick, consistent layer. And then after that, they could start throwing the flakes. And this has just got to be the most fun part to watch. You know, it's like they're feeding chickens out there. Just getting your hand in there and throwing a ton of flakes out and just covering it everywhere. So once that epoxy is down, they want to get those flakes down pretty immediately so that they're going to stick into it. And they just continue this process throughout the entire shop. And of course, I think you could tell who the head guy on the job is. He's the one throwing the flakes because, you know, he's earned the right to. All right, the guys just showed up for day 2. Now, actually, I had to leave a little bit early yesterday before they even started putting down the flakes, so I've not actually seen the floor. Let's take a look. Oh my goodness. Oh, this looks so good. This is without a top coat. Wow. This looks absolutely amazing. So today what they're gonna do is basically go in and scrape down the extra flake because they kind of broadcast and just put down as much as they can so everything will stick. Now what they need to do is get all the loose flake off and then they can put the top coating on. Now the top coating is a polyaspartic, which is definitely better than epoxy for 2 main reasons. One is UV resistance. Standard epoxy is not UV resistant. It will yellow over time. 2 is that the polyaspartic is much more tough and it will resist what they call hot tire pickup. So if you've ever, had an epoxy floor, especially like one from the home center that you like painted on, and then you brought a car in after you made, a 4-hour road trip, your tires are hot, and what happens is it actually pulls up the epoxy because it heats up the epoxy when it sits there. Polyaspartic does not do that. And there's probably other reasons too, why it's awesome. I can't wait to crack open these front doors and see how it looks from the front. Morning. Morning. Man, that looks good. There's all that extra flake that they're gonna be taking up here. This is the color. It's 1/4 inch ones. This one is called gravel. And man, it looks like it turned out great. All right, they're busy scraping away, so it might be a little loud, but here's what we left open. So we actually didn't do another expansion line. We just used the current expansion lines. They just thought that would look better. They said it's no big deal to just leave this little patch here open in front of that door. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna stop because this probably sounds really bad, but yeah, anyway, this will be the transition zone for the next pour. This part might have been my favorite part of the entire job. I don't know why, but I just love the visual of them scraping up and getting all of this extra flake off into these huge piles. So they just went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Kind of reminded me when I had to shovel out all that snow from the upper floor that one time. But basically when they had all the loose flake up, then they could just vacuum anything that they missed around the edges and put it back into the boxes so that they could use it again later. Now at that point, that's when the top coat, which is the polyaspartic, could go down. And this again is a 2-part system that they would mix up. And applied a lot like the first coat, except you're just not throwing down anything on top. So squeeze it down and then level it out with the rollers. And also, kind of fun to watch these guys at high speed. It really just looks like they're moonwalking half the time. But this is a nice glossy surface finish, and it's gonna lock all those flakes in there. And when you're done, it is gonna be a little rough. There's gonna be texture to it, which I think is great because it'll just be a little more slip resistant, especially if you have dust or any liquids that get down on the floor. And they were doing their best Michael Jackson, and they did a fantastic job. All right, well, the guys are coming back tomorrow to do this last bay, so we need to get everything back out into our nicely new epoxied shop floor. This is as heavy as it looks. Oh gosh. Sweet mother. So we're gonna move all this stuff out, then we can move the CNC up to the front. All right, that didn't take too long. We got everything out except for the CNC. Now is the part where we can see if our plan works. So we're gonna move it all the way down to the front, and hopefully it will sit right on top of the epoxy that's already done and leave the rest of this open. Let's see how it goes. Now, if you didn't catch one of the earlier videos where we were moving the CNC around, we're using these industrial mover rollers here, and they work actually really well. It's just a little hard to keep them steered in the right direction, so we kind of had to adjust things as we go. But the fact that this machine weighs like 3,200 pounds, and we could move it, honestly, move it with one person, and then cameraman Adam here is just helping to adjust things because that one foot kept kind of sliding out because it's not adjusted properly. But you know, it only took probably about 5, maybe max 10 minutes to move this all the way down, and it was super smooth until we got to the epoxy. All right, we're getting up to the point where we're getting onto the actual epoxy. So I think it's been about 72 hours since this top one was laid down, and from all my research and from talking to them, they say 48 hours is probably good. 72 hours is basically you can drive on it and should take the weight. I'm slightly nervous to roll all this weight onto here, but you know, we got to get it done. So let's see how it goes. That's okay. So turns out I was actually worked up about nothing because the epoxy floor took it like a champ. I think that's it. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, that worked out perfectly. So now we can get all this part here and everything back down there. Just gotta move that guy and we're all clear. All right, we are ready for epoxy. Unfortunately, I am not going to be there. So the reason I wasn't going to be there for this second install is I went out to the National Hardware Show. It's now actually called the NHS Concept to Commerce Show, but basically what it is it is a show about sourcing hardware. And one of the things that I've been wanting to do for a really long time is to bring hardware into our online store at fixthisbuildout.com. So we sell a lot of plans. A lot of you guys have supported us through plan sales, and we just appreciate you guys so much. But one of the things that you always have to do is go buy hardware, whether that's casters or drawer slides or just door pulls. You got to go out there and get those things. And there's always questions about which one should I buy. And I go to Amazon and there's 15 different varieties. And I don't know whether I want to trust reviews or buy the cheap one or the most expensive. So my goal is just to make that process a lot easier. And we can curate those items, package those together, and offer those to you so that you know that you're picking the right thing and you're not going to have any problems with your build. So that's what I was doing out in Vegas. Super excited about it, and a lot more to come on that. But just to wrap up this whole epoxy floor thing, if you're wondering about cost, in our area, this is probably going to cost anywhere from $4 to $8 per square foot. Now, that could be different in your areas, but that's what I found kind of across the nation, and especially here in Nashville, you're going to be somewhere in that range if you're thinking about doing this in your own shop. All right, guys, here we are. New epoxy floors. Honestly, I was not planning on doing this at all. So this is like a little silver lining. With all the things that have been going wrong and south with this build, this is a win. This is a huge win because this looks so much better than just the regular concrete did. And you would never know that that issue was ever there. So I think this might be a turning point. I think maybe from here, things are just gonna go smooth sailing. Cross our fingers and we'll see what happens. But until next time, set a goal and get it done.